And it's about bringing masculinity back to the forefront of our culture. Act like men. This is a guy that is a freaking warrior. If you're looking at him and saying, man, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. I'm calling for it. I'm going to step out on a limb, which it shouldn't even be a limb to step out on. Get behind Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is in the U.S. and he had a warm welcome. He's being investigated. Like they're trying to find something on him in Florida. He lands in Florida. I thought it would be a nice welcoming there. And Governor DeSantis went right at him. I don't know if he knew all the facts about Andrew Tate or what he was thinking doing this, but the Attorney General is already looking for something. They're trying to find something on Andrew Tate. In this episode, we are going to take a look at Andrew Tate's sit down with PBD, Patrick Bet-David, his podcast. It was very good. It was on Monday, and there was so many highlights in it that we're going to break down the biggest highlights, the biggest moments that I gleaned from it and what I took away from it. I think Andrew Tate is very misunderstood by a lot of people, and I'm going to point the finger, even though I don't want to. I'm going to point the finger at conservatives and Christians, why we are having so much friendly fire by going at this guy when there is no need whatsoever to go at him like that we are doing. We're going to break it all down. My name is Brandon Fogel. This is Evolution. Let's dive into it. All right. So we're going to take a couple clips of the Patrick Bet-David sit down and what happened and what all went on there, because it was extremely good. The whole episode was good. And we're going to I'm going to actually just show the very first clip just so you kind of get an idea, because not everybody knows who Andrew Tate is. I think more of the rest of the world knows who Andrew Tate is as opposed to every United States citizen. But he's back in America. He is born from the United States. He is one of our own, even though he grew up most of his life in Britain. So he kind of claims that as his upbringing, but he is born in the United States. This is his homeland. And I don't think we should be targeting him. There are so many things that Christians we could glean from him and take from him and implement in our lives. And there are so many things in his whole brand and his whole philosophy that we could get from. But we're going to take a look at quickly the first clip in Patrick Bet-David. This is towards the end. I mean, if you want a shot of adrenaline and a pill of just confidence, you start listening to Andrew Tate for just a little bit. And especially men, because his audience, his reach is primarily men, but not completely. And it's about bringing masculinity back to the forefront of our culture. And this fits in with the biblical worldview. The Apostle Paul said, act like men. So we're going to take a look at some of the things that I see why people disagree with him, and people are kind of shooting at him and just making a big deal about his life and about what he represents. But we'll break it all down. But let's first take a look at this first clip with Patrick Bet-David and their sit down.
Do you have any plans of ever interviewing Trump?
I think that would be a very interesting conversation. I'd love to talk to Trump. I mean, I really do think, I know everyone says he's a great president, but you know, even when he said he thinks of things I don't often think of, and that's really unusual for me because I like to think I think of everything. But when he sat down with Ukraine, he's like, no, I want $500 billion. Not only do I want to end the war, I want my money back with interest. That wouldn't have crossed my mind. I'm going to be honest. If I was president, I would have tried to fix the war. I would have thought, it's a war-torn country, fix the war. I wouldn't have been like, yeah, fix the war plus pay me.
Mineral deal.
He is the gangster. He is a G. Trump is exactly the leader America needs, and I am truthfully praying that Vance is next. We can't go back. Gentlemen, everyone watching this show, there's a lot of people that feel euphoric because Trump has won, and they feel like the woke mind virus is gone and our enemies are gone. No, our enemies are plotting in the shadows. Our enemies are still using the judicial system and the judges to slow Trump down. Our enemies are still using the media to attack anybody with massive influence, myself, Trump, Elon, etc. Our enemies are still subverting white people into believing that their own race should go extinct via migration.
Okay. As you can see, he is electrifying. He is electrifying, and he says a lot of just very hot, very button pushy things for a lot of people. You know, I mean, we have been so just culturally, politically, correctly mindset geared that we have to like embrace everything. Like if someone says anything about that goes a little politically incorrect, that we immediately are, the hair sticks back on our necks. We can't really think straight. We start seeing blurred things. We don't know what to think. So he says things that are dicey at times, and I understand that. But this was this moment right here. He completely backs Trump. And he's coming into the United States, and Trump, when they ask Trump, how did Andrew get released from Romania, and how is he coming to the United States? Trump is just flat out, straight out, just gangster. I don't know. And Andrew says the most man thing to do is to say, I don't know. If you don't know as a man, you don't, like, instead of just filling the air and saying something to make yourself look stupid, you know, and I've done that. I think we've all done that. But it's like, he says, just say, I don't know. He says that Trump is more gangster than him because Trump says to Zelensky, all right, we're going to stop this war, but also I want to get reimbursed for what we have paid for, what we have put down, the treasure that we have spent. And because Trump is always thinking next level, even more next level than Tate. This is a new wave of thought for all people, and specifically and primarily men. Because I mean, if this makes you uncomfortable, and I know it can, natural reaction can make you uncomfortable by this guy, by Andrew Tate, because he is all about being men stepping up and doing what you're called to do. Being what you're called to be in the fullest sense, don't backing down. And I think our natural tendency is to back down. Our natural tendency is to submit. We got to do it with wisdom. And this aligns completely with the Bible. There are things that he puts out there and people disagree with, that he's done, that he's said, that they don't like. But overall, like, when did we and I'm going to primarily focus at Christians, when did we become holier than thou? When did we become condemning and thinking that everybody else has to be Jesus Christ incarnate? Everybody else has to be perfect, and if they don't line with that, then I'm going to completely just cast them off. As opposed to, we are all sinners. We are all fallen. We are all working our way through this world. There's no one is better than anyone else. So like, I'm blown away and flabbergasted by the fact that we can look at Andrew Tate and not just at least take the good from what he's doing. Because there is a lot of good. There is a lot of good. I think if we just take that part of just rethinking how we are teaching young boys how to be and how to grow up and be like men, then I think we've got something completely seriously wrong. So I know Andrew Tate is not perfect, and no one is. And he's done a lot of things that people don't like. And I mean, sin is sin. Things that you do are wrong. They're wrong. Whatever, you know, that's what they are. We all have them. It's not like anybody is better than the other. And if you think you are, you're completely deceived. If you're looking at him and saying, man, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. Man, you got to take a serious look in the mirror, a serious self-evaluation. Because, man, I am the opposite of a good guy. And I don't think anyone is a good guy. Nobody, you know, and so and Christians don't get ourselves like, this is a guy that is a freaking warrior. He's going to do things that we disagree with. Everybody's going to do stupid things, you know, but it's like, don't take it like, because somebody's done once in the past, and that's what they are. They are marked for life. I cannot accept them. I cannot look upon them. They are beneath me. They are beneath Christianity. They are beneath Christian culture and morality. Christians, be better. I mean, and I don't want to do my own friendly fire. I mean, that's why we can have these discussions. We can point things out that we disagree with, as long as we are of the mindset, you know, this is all about the kingdom of God. This is all about the kingdom of God. That's the thing that matters. The kingdom of God is coming. Until kingdom come, that is what is coming. So, like, let's in line with that. But I mean, it's a battle. We are on behind enemy lines. We need fighters. And we need at least somebody that's going to spark something that people are going to get up and want to go out and fight. And this is a guy that can freaking fight. Literally, he was a fighter. He's a UFC fighter. I know. This gets me fired up. And most of this episode with PBD was all just him being fired up and him defending himself. We're going to take a look at this moment right here, the next moment, where it seems we see a little bit more humanity of Andrew Tate, because we see him get a little bit emotional and just describing how he has been attacked terribly, and lawlessly. All right, here we're going to take a quick look at this.
That Trump himself could possibly ask for. You tell me what you want me to do, sir. I'm ready. Because I have been at the end of these people. I've felt the true fire that these people can inflict on a human. They've truly hurt me in a lot of ways. So I am ready to go full. I'm getting emotional because I am, because what they can do to somebody like me. At least I had financial resource. At least I had media outlets. Imagine I was a normal person with normal money. Imagine nobody listened to me. The wrap-up smear would have had me done in 2 days. I would have been bankrupt and in jail in 2 days, done. Nobody even gives me appreciation or respect, even the people who don't like me, for how I fought against this from Bucharest, stuck in a house against the mainstream media machine with no money, all my bank accounts frozen, a judicial system which is questionable, sitting there resisting this massive matrix attack, perhaps the largest one you can name outside of Trump himself. And I managed to beat it by myself. I've seen how powerful our enemy is, which is why I want them gone. I'm ready to take instructions, sir. If Elon or Trump call me and say this needs to end, we need to deal with these people, you need to go on this podcast and say this, I'm ready, because these people are evil. They have no conscience. They do not believe in pity or humanity at all.
Okay. There's so much there. And this guy, he has been, you could say, he hasn't been like convicted of he hasn't been convicted of anything. A lot of people, Trump has been convicted, you know? It's like Trump is a convicted felon. And he's our president. Tate, he hasn't been convicted of anything. And we think that sometimes America justice system is bad. He's been dealing with it in Romania and even Britain. Britain, like the UK is, we take freedom of speech so like for granted in the United States. We take freedom of speech so for granted. You could tell that Andrew Tate was seriously getting emotional. And like, I mean, he doesn't a lot of times. He doesn't allow that to come through. You know, he's very hardcore. You know, he's a guy that you would want to be in a foxhole with. I mean, you think about all the guys out there. That's a guy that I'd want to be in a foxhole with if we were in actual battle. And he lets his guard down. Maybe it's calculated. I don't know. I don't think it was. And even if it was, it doesn't matter. He says, I'm getting emotional. Because he like you can be going through something and something just triggers something, a memory, and it's like a shot of something that just takes you back and you remember. So he's remembering. He's been actually in prison, in jail for. They have not convicted of anything. They've had to throw out everything that they're throwing on him constantly, just berated constantly. And he comes to the U.S. and now we're doing the same thing to him. And I'm saying, like, Christians, conservatives, get behind this guy. He's a freaking warrior. He's a guy that we're going to want on our side. I think he's going to be on our side. He's going against the matrix, the woke mind virus that is out there. It's not calling for physical battle, but it's calling against a mindset, a zeitgeist that is out there that wants to destroy people. Christians, we want to save people. We want people to come to Christ. We want people to live. We want life. We want life more than death. And there's people out there that want to seriously destroy. Tate makes the point that Trump saved the world, well, at least Western world. If Trump had not won, and like you could say that Trump saved it, but God saved the world ultimately, but God saved it even temporarily with putting Trump, making that bullet go like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters to the side of his head as opposed to taking off his head, that he is now our seated president. It seems like God's got a little bit more, he has a little bit more grace and time that he wants in this world to happen because he allowed Trump to be in office and not that people just to be completely eviscerated by the top echelons that want to destroy them. Because these people, Tate makes a point that if they're coming after me, and Trump always says this, they're coming after me, but really they're coming after you. I'm just standing in front of you. And if they can do this to Tate, and if they were unsuccessful, but they're not going to stop. They don't stop. And it's like, I'm not saying the people are the devil, but people can be incited by the devil. The whole world goes in the sway of the evil one. People that are in power and politics, the devil is definitely controlling so many things that we have no idea. And it's just clearly played out when people want to destroy a man. And I think when Christians want to destroy a man, a reputation, and speak about things that they don't even know, and understand that, man, he's not worse than anybody else. My God, he's not worse than anybody else, and he's not worse than you. And he's a freaking fighter. So I think Christians, conservatives, we can get behind this guy. I'm calling for it, I'm going to step out on a limb, which it shouldn't even be a limb to step out on. Get behind Andrew Tate. I know he's done wrong things. Everybody has. And he will do wrong things. I will do wrong things. I do things I regret every day. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So it's like, let's get away from this mindset. Let's flush it out. Let's take what we can, the good, and correct the bad. Take the good and correct the bad. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. Let's stop doing this stupid friendly fire.
I'm in $1 million mood. I'ma shout it from the roof in $1 million mood. I woke up feeling great, sun is shining on my face now. I'm just kicking back with